Hey guys, here we are on video number 2. I want to apologize, guys, on the first video I made. After watching that video, I realized, man, I repeat myself a lot. So today I'm making another video, and I didn't get into some of the stuff I wanted to get into. I tried to make that video 2 or 3 different times, and either my phone would ring or somebody would come up or just what, so it didn't really matter. But anyway, I'm going to try and remake that video today. Not taking that video down because it was my first one, and I'm saying, hey, you know, I went for it. But anyway, this is video number 2. Today we're going to get into a little more in-depth of things that I like, dislikes, things I had go wrong, and some things that I really want to do to the car in the future. So get right into it. I got my list here. I made me a list right here today, so hopefully it'll help me maybe not repeat myself so much and have you guys poking at me. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoy my channel. I'm just a straight up dude, man. I tell you like it is. I tell you what works. I'm not getting paid by anybody. At least not at this point in time. But it's just something I love to do. You know what I mean? I just love the sport. I've just been in it all my life, and I want to thank you guys for coming by, spending a little time with me. I know my videos can get a little bit long-winded. Sometimes I like to talk, but I just really, it comes from the passion. You know what I mean? I love what I do. So bear with me and walk through it with me, and we'll get through it again today. Video number 2. The likes, dislikes. I'll go through the dislikes first. The dislikes are, for me, the seats. I don't like the seats. If you watched my first video, you seen where I showed you in the video where the side bolster on the bottom of the seat, it digs in my leg. And at the end of the day, man, that gets a little bit sore at the end of the day. You know, if you're riding for a couple of hours or whatever, it's not real bad. But if you're riding all day, that little flip up on the sides of them seats, it's hard plastic. And I've heard people say, man, getting in and out of the car was like getting a suppository or, you know, whatever. But I don't know that I've had that happen, but just riding in the car, the seat is, after a while, that side bolster digs into my leg, and I don't like that. So I don't really care for the seats, but that's an easy fix because I can order a set of seats and change that and have something a little different with a set of PRP seats or a set of Simpson seats, or, you know, somebody other in the industry makes. I mean, there's 50 people out there making seats, so I'm sure I can fix that problem. Seating position. I talked about in my other video about the seating position, how I felt like I was in a sports car. Like, it kind of reminded me of my son's Camaro. It just kind of really lays you back. And I feel like the Can-Am is really suited better for a person 6 foot or better. You know, a guy 6'2", 3, 4, 5 can fit in this car with no problem whatsoever. And just so you know what we are talking about, we're talking about this car right here behind me, guys. It's a 2017 Canam X3 XDS. I've had it about 3 months, maybe 4. I'm thinking probably 3 months. I haven't really gone to a lot of places with it, but the weather's getting ready to change here in North Carolina, so we're going to be out doing a whole lot more riding. And so just hang with us, guys. We got some good videos coming, I hope. And right now I'm trying to video this on my phone, so as we get bigger and we grow this channel a little bit more, maybe I'll have better camera equipment and stuff like that. But right now I'm making do with what I got. So just so you know what we're talking about, not to repeat myself, but the seating position I don't like. It really kind of sits me too far back, and I like to sit more upright. I've done some things in the car to try and change that, to get me more upright. But it's not a lot of difference. It is some. It helped a little. But I like to be able to see over the front of my car, kind of. I come from the Polaris world. As most of you know, I don't know, man. I may be a Polaris fanboy. I don't know. I don't think I am really, because I really like several different brands or whatever. I really kind of like that KRX. That KRX 1000 is I think that's going to be a bad machine. If I lived in Utah, that's the machine I'd have probably. But anyway, the Polaris just sits me upright. It allows me to be able to look out. I can see over the left. I can see the left front wheel, especially in like a Turbo S. Man, I'm going to tell you, that Turbo S, I can see out of that machine really good. I feel like that machine puts me where I need to be as far as being able to see out. I've rode one of them. I really liked it. And the new Pro XP is not bad either. I like them both. But this suits me too far back. Suits me kind of like I'm in a Ferrari or something. I don't know. But the driving position in between this and a Polaris and a KRX or a Honda Talon or anything else out there, it's just way different. This is more of a sports car, a high-end sports car feel or fit. I done said I don't like the seats. They dig into my leg. But anyway, the seating position, I really don't care for the seating position. The bed. The bed on the car, it's the shape of the bed, I think, really, that causes me to have a problem with it, because if you don't buy Can-Am storage boxes, nothing really works. I think Super ATV has a box that goes in the bed, but it's not a real big box, so you're not going to put a lot in it. But it's a nice box, and the mounting system for it's really nice. So I might end up trying something like that. I don't know. But it's the way the bed is kind of shaped, kind of in the back end. It's kind of got a funky shape to it. I actually went to Cabela's and bought a Pelican gun case. I mean, a nice Pelican gun case that I was like, when I saw it in Cabela's, I was like, oh, that's going to work perfect. It's, you know, I really thought in my mind, I was looking at it, I was like, it's going to fit, it's going to fit. And man, you talk about a nice box, that would have been a nice box. But when I got it home and tried to put it in the bed, it liked about a 1/2 inch on each side fitting. And it's because of the way the bed, at the very back of the bed of the car, is kind of shaped like it's kind of at an angle. Had it not been at an angle and been straight across like that, that thing would have sit in there perfect. I could have mounted it, would have been perfect. I'd have a nice box in the back of my car. But as it stands right now, I don't have any kind of box or anything. And unless you buy the Polaris basket that's got a cover, you know, that the bed's pure open. If you don't tie it down really good in the back, it's going to slide out. It's got nothing back there to stop it from coming out. So I don't really care for the bed. You know, I think the bed could have been done better. They've got the air intake violating part of the bed space. They got the intercooler violating part of the bed space. And I just think that could have been done different and allowed you to have a lot more bed space in this car here. Because if you're going for a day ride at somewhere like Buckleberry or Busco Beach or something like that, we ride local or whatever, then having stuff in the bed's not a real big problem. But if you're going to Hatfield McCoy or Kentucky or somewhere like that, and you're going to ride in the mountains, you could be gone for 3 or 4 days, you know, you want to be able to put some stuff in your bed, carry some stuff with you, a cooler. And I can get a small Yeti or stuff like that. I can get that. I can strap a small Yeti back there. That's no problem. But as far as really having a box that I can put some tools in, I can put some, you know, ropes, tie downs, whatever, stuff you need when you're on the trail. Just, you know, and I want to make a video on that as well. Stuff you need to take with you when you go on a trip. And that maybe I'll do that one tomorrow if I got some time or whatever. I don't know. But I just don't like the bed. I really wish it was a lot better bed. But if you don't buy Polaris, I mean, if you don't buy Can-Am, if you don't buy their parts, it don't fit, you know. I've got a rear tire carrier ordered, and I've got a rear cooler ordered. It has not come in yet. So when they come in, I'll be getting those. But I think for the money you pay for that stuff from Can-Am, man, I just think that's crazy. I paid $160 for that Pelican box, and that was a nice box. For $160, that was a nice box. And the cheapest Can-Am one is like $250. And then it goes all the way to like $400. And then they've got this little small one that, hell, it ain't no bigger than my toolbox. And it's $400 and some dollars. I saw it at Performance East the other day. It was $400. I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. And I mean, it ain't big enough to put 2 tow ropes in. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But anyway, I don't like the bid. Moving on. The gauge cluster. Now, I will say this. The gauge cluster is not bad. And it does function and works and does what it needs to do. It's just not big enough. And I'll give Can-Am credit. They did go and fix that issue in the, I think they changed it in 2019. I'm not sure. But the 19s and 20s I know have the bigger gauge cluster in it, which is a whole lot nicer. Digital, all full digital gauge cluster and everything. Mine's analog and digital. Got a little, about a 4, maybe 4.5 inch screen in it, the digital part, and the rest of it's analog. And I wish I could change it over to the bigger gauge cluster, but I don't think it works. You can buy a bigger gauge cluster, yes, but I don't think it works for the 17. I don't really know. If somebody wants to comment and tell me, you know, yay or nay, then that's something I might look into. But I don't think you can get the bigger gauge cluster for the 17. But hey, if I'm wrong, please tell me, guys, and help me out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I make these videos, man. I'd love for you guys to comment. Let's have a discussion. You know what I mean? It's not whether I'm right or I'm wrong, or you're right or you're wrong, or whatever. It's all about discussing and making it better for a better experience for everybody. You know what I mean? The next thing I don't like was the door handles. The stock door handles. That I talked about this in my first video. The stock door handle is a freaking strap, okay? It's a freaking strap. I mean, we're talking something along the lines of what this dog harness is right here, okay? I mean, something about like that right there, and you pulling on this to open the door. Now, man, you know, don't get me wrong. You know, I understand, like I said in my first video, that I know manufacturers got to save and cut corners where they can and this and that, but that's just ridiculous to have a freaking strap as a door handle. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. And like I said before, if you watched my first video, a guy come on one of the forums or whatever on Facebook, and we were in a group discussion, and the guy said, well, man, guys, I'm looking for some door handles. I don't like this strap. Well, one guy come up on there and called him a princess because he wanted to change his door handle from a strap to an actual functional handle. And you know, I kind of took offense to that because I changed mine out, and you know, I'm not a princess because I wanted to change mine out. I just wanted something that was more durable. You know, durability is a big thing for me, and I just thought it was, you know, something that needed to be changed from the factory. I think they could address it. I think they could make it better. I went with the Hess Motorsport handle for mine, and I absolutely think it's a great. Now, there are other manufacturers, ZRP, several different companies make door handles for the X3. I mean, this thing's been out long enough that the amount of companies that are out there building stuff for, man, is crazy. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of you picking a company you want to go with. If you like their product, then you know, go with it. You know what I'm saying? But I just happened to see the Hess online, and I liked the way it looked. I liked the functionality of it, and that's what I went with. And so far, I'm real happy with it. I think those guys did a fantastic job in making that handle, and it's simple. It takes about maybe 15 minutes per side to install. Hit it with a little WD-40, and it'll work. It's flawless. I mean, really and truly, it works good. But the door handle, man, being a strap, that's just a pure pet peeve of mine. And I think Can-Am could do a lot better. The brackets that hold the intake tubes, okay? Hold on one second, let me show you. I was doing some cleaning on my unit the other day, and I had taken all of the clutch cover, the intake box, everything. I had taken it all out, cleaning it all out, because I got tied up in some mud, and I had mud and dirt everywhere. So I'm trying to be and keep the unit clean and functioning like it ought to. I took it all out. I was putting it all back, and when I put it back, I got a little bit happy with tightening one of the clamps back down on one of the hoses that go on like the clutch cover, and it snapped on me. Now I will tell you this, I think that's ridiculous that clamp costs like $14 through Can-Am, through your dealer, okay? When you can go to Lowe's, which is what I did right here, and I bought this stainless steel clamp for $1.67, okay? $1.67. I got about 3 or 4 of them, okay? And I'm gonna put them in my toolbox so I have them, okay? But $1.67 a piece, okay? I think the biggest one cost me $1.97, okay? And it's stainless steel, it's not going anywhere. It's a different size screw right there. That's a 5/16. So, but anyway, I was tightening it up and it snapped. And, you know, I called my dealer and I was like, man, I need one of these brackets. And the guy told me, man, Mr. Vaughn, it's going to be, you know, right at $14. I have it for you in about 4 or 5 days. He didn't have one. They normally have everything when I go there. But he didn't have that. And I said, well, man, just hold off and I'll see what I can do. Maybe I got one here in the shop or something like that. And I really thought I had some here in the shop, but I recently put a new shop out to the side of my house, and I moved some stuff out there. It's probably tied up, and you know how it is when you move, you can't find nothing for 6 months or more. So, but anyway, that's my dislikes so far. The seats, the seating position, the bed, the gauges, the door handles are crap, and I think the brackets on the clutch stuff and the area intakes and all that kind of stuff, I think that could be a little bit better brackets. And I don't see no reason in the world why they should be $14, $15 a piece. You know, when you can go to Lowe's and buy them for, you know, anywhere from $1.50 to $2, okay, and take care of your problem, and it ain't gonna rust on you. So there you go. Now I'm gonna move on to the likes. The likes are the power. This machine got some power now, and I'm going to tell you, my machine ain't even close to what, like say, like a 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. I ain't even pushing that kind of horsepower, man. I got 154 horsepower, but it is a whole lot more than what I had in my last unit that I had was a 900 XP, which I talked about that in my last video. I think it had like 89 horsepower. And I had a ton of fun in that car. A ton of fun. And this car's got 154 horsepower. And for me, that's like hitting the lottery, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Now, you know, I talked about in my other video about having more power. Do I want more power? Yeah, I want more power. Anybody don't want more power is crazy. They're lying. They do want more power, you know. But I'm a power junkie, you know. I guess maybe if you just like cruising around at slow speeds or doing whatever, maybe, you know, 154 is enough for you. But right now, 154 is working for me, and I like it. I'm having a lot of fun in the car. The car works great. But, you know, in order to get more power, I got to, you know, because I do have a 17, I got to upgrade the fuel pump. I got to upgrade the injectors. I got to, you know, change it over to, it would probably change it over to something like maybe E85, put an E85 tune in it, something like that, and put me around 205, 210, something like that. And I think I'd be perfectly happy with 205, 210, to be honest. I'm pretty tickled with 154, to be honest. So, you know, I ain't in no hurry because all of that's going to cost me about $2,500 to get that game. And I ain't in no hurry to spend that kind of money right now. There's other things I really want to do to the car before I do that. And I'm, you know, I can live with the 154 horsepower for now. It's a whole lot more than I had. Drivability. The one thing I really do like about this car is the drivability. You can hammer the pure piss out of this car. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. This is a 64-inch wide car, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you're gonna flip that car flips over easy. Can-Am flips over real easy and this and that." I have yet the two-wheel high side this car, and trust me when I tell you I drive this car, I drive this car. And any of my friends that ride with me or have ridden with me will tell you that I don't give it no slack. I don't take no slack on it. I take real good care of my car. I service it when I need to. When I come home, I clean it. I take good care of it. You can look at it right now, the car's pretty clean. You know, I'm a firm believer, if you take care of the car take care of you. And when the drivability, you know, I was kind of concerned about, you know, is it going to drive like I want it to drive or this or that? And it seemed like to me, like when I first drove the car, the first weekend I rode the car, I drove it 2 days at a local park here we got, and it about beat me to death at low speed. And I was talking to my friends about it, and I told them, I said, I think I need to do that Fox tune on it. And so the next week, they come over to the house. We jacked it all up. We downloaded all the stuff, done the Fox tune on it. It made a world of difference. Now, with that said, I love the way the car rides and drives now. A lot of people would say, well, man, now you got 16.5 inches of ground clearance. You got your ride height up, because before I was at like maybe 11.5. You know, of ground clearance. And after done the tune, we got it on up to where it's about 16.25, 16.5. And a lot of people say, well, man, you got it up higher now, it's gonna flip over easy. I'm telling you, man, it ain't anything but that. The car works. The suspension on it is pretty good from the factory if you'll tune it. Out of the crate, it's terrible. No, I ain't gonna lie, it's terrible. But if you'll put it in your shop, and you got any common sense at all, and you'll do that, download that stuff from Fox, and do that Fox tune on it, it'll blow your mind how much better the car is. The ride height is better, the ground clearance is better, the drivability is a lot better. It's more comfortable at low speed. The car is more predictable at high speed. Cornering is really good on the car. I've not really had the car, but I drive the car, and I don't get in the car and just turn my brain off and just drive like a madman, okay? I drive 50 feet in front of me all the time. You know, I'm all the time looking, you know, 30 to 50 feet in front of me all the time. I'm anticipating on what's coming up, what's happening. And, you know, I consider myself a pretty good driver. I really do. I think that's a strong point for me. Me and my son joke about it, who's the best wheel man and this and that or whatever, but he always won't tell me, he said, Dad, you know I'm a better wheel man than you are or whatever, but I can promise you this. If you ask my son away from me who the better driver is, he'll tell you that I don't mess around. And I notice when he tells his friends, if you really want to ride and see what that car do, you need to ride with Daddy. And see what, and we get in it and we give it what for now, because I'm gonna push that bad boy like a rally car, and I'm gonna give it everything it's got. And that's why I bought it. I set it up to be able to be driven like that. And that's one reason why I want to do the shock therapy too. I want to do the shock therapy shocks on it. I want to send my shocks out to shock therapy and have them do it, because as good as it is right now with the Fox tune, the shock therapy stuff is 10 times better. And I would just love to be able to drive the car and it be tuned by shock therapy. I watch a lot of those guys' videos. Man, them dudes are really, they're knowledgeable as all get out, man. They got their company is just growing by leaps and bounds. they really got it licked. They know exactly what they're talking about, and I just believe in them. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying they're the only people out there that know how to tune shocks, because they're not. They're just the people that I see that I would like to do mine. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's, what is it, IBAC or whatever. They make springs for them and stuff like that. And all that's good and all that's great. And I'm sure it's really good. But I'd love to have the shock therapy stuff. And that's just my preference. I don't know why. I believe in them, I guess. Talked about the drivability and the power. The drivability and the power in the car, you can't take nothing away from that. The harder you drive this car, the better it likes it. And it'll handle whatever you throw at it. Handling, the car is very predictable. I think, me personally, getting in the car and driving it, the car is extremely predictable. It feels planted. I feel sure-footed in the car. I feel like the car's got a real good sure-footedness to it. And I was a little bit leery on buying a 64-inch wide car versus a 72, because I was like, it's a lot narrower. But I mean, I drove the piss out of what I had before, and it was a 60-inch car. You know what I mean? And I think with the wheels and tires and stuff that we put on that 900 XP, I think it ended up being like maybe 62 or 63 inches wide. And I mean, I could drive that car pretty hard, but it didn't have a turbo either. And so that's why when I went to buy this one, I wasn't going to buy nothing that didn't have a turbo. And I'll be honest with you, I looked at the KRX 1000. I really like that car. I really do like that car. I think Kawasaki come out the gate with a freaking winner right to start with. They hit a home run, in my opinion. I drove a Talon. I debated. I was on the fence about a Talon or KRX or whatever, and I was like, man, if I do this, I'm not really buying what I really want. I really want a turbo. So I'm gonna stick to my guns, and I'm gonna buy me something that's got a turbo in it, because I had never had one and I wanted one. And now that I got this car, I really like this car all around. I really like the car. So the power is number one, okay? And it can only get better, okay? And because it's got the same engine in it that the new 2021s has got. So I know where I can carry it to. The drivability is good. I would give it a really good 2 thumbs up on the drivability, and the handling is just, maybe drivability and handling is kind of the same thing, but I refer to drivability as how does the car respond to what you give it, and the drivability of what you put into it is good, and the overall handling of the car is pretty decent now that we've done the Fox Tune. So the next thing on my list of likes is the looks. Most people go out and they buy a car because they like the way it looks, okay? Now, I'm a firm believer I love the looks of this car. I really do. It's aggressive looking. It's got a good overall shape to it. It seems like everything's put kind of in the right place right from the factory. And it's just up to you to kind of fiddle with it and tune it to what you want the car to feel like. You know what I'm saying? So, but the looks, man, is aggressive. I like the looks of the car. I get a lot of compliments on the car, and I think they nailed the looks right out of the gate. You know what I'm saying? The other thing I really like about the car is the doors. I see some of the other manufacturers, their doors is kind of flimsy or crappy. I kind of didn't really care for Polaris's doors. In the past, I always went with like a Pro Armor door on my cars in the past, because the Pro Armor doors just seem to be built a lot better. But these doors with the lower doors added, that's a pretty good door. I mean, are there better doors? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's probably something I'm going to address in the future, is the doors. When I change and put my cage on, that's something I want to do. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But I like the doors. So in a nutshell, the things I like about it are the power, the drivability, the handling, the looks, and the doors. The overall shape of the car, I really like the overall shape of the car. And the car just works well if you tune it to what you want. You know what I'm saying? And it can be tuned a whole lot better than I've got it tuned with some shock therapy. So moving on to the next thing that I've had is things I've had go wrong since I bought the car 3 or 4 months ago. The first thing I had go wrong is I drove it the first weekend or whatever. I didn't have any problem out of it whatsoever. When I got it home, I washed it, and I've seen several posts on different forums about, man, I washed my car and now it's throwing a code, or I washed my car and it won't do this, it won't do that, or whatever. I'll just tell you what happened to me. Mine started throwing codes. I don't really remember exactly what the codes were at that particular time that it started throwing codes. And but anyway, it started throwing codes. So I carried it back to the dealership that I got it from. They took the plugs out of it and put a brand new set of plugs in it. And that helped, but it didn't solve the problem. So we got to discussing some things that I had seen online. And I told the guy, I said, look, what if we just swap the coil packs around? And he was like, well, yeah, you know what? That might be, we might could do that. So we swapped the coil packs around, and that fixed the problem 100%. Evidently, I must have got some water under one of the coil packs or whatever, and it started making it throw a code. But we threw a new set of plugs in it, swapped the coil packs around a little bit, and the car went back to just blistering fast. It was just awesome, man. And so far, knock on wood, I hadn't had any problem with that since then. The next thing I had go wrong was one of them clamps again had come loose from the factory, and it come loose from my turbo. So I'm out riding, and it's going, you know, and it's like everything's free spooling or whatever. And I know a lot of you gonna get a kick out of what I just did, but anyway, that sound it was making, close as I could come to it. But I limped it back to the truck, and immediately went in between the seats and pulled the cover off, and saw that the boot had come off of the turbo. So I just unloosened the clamp, put the boot back on, and put it back, tightened the clamp up, tried not to over tighten it, and it went back to running perfectly, and I had a fantastic day. And the car just works pretty good. I think the motor in the car is, I think it's got a pretty good power plant, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a firm believer in Can-Am's power plants. I believe their motors are really good motors, whether it be in their four-wheelers or whether it be in their side-by-sides or whatever. I believe in the power plant. I believe they're powering it the right way. But I am excited to see what's coming out with the Polaris, man. I don't know if it's going to be a 3-cylinder, 4-cylinder, just what, but I'm looking. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I like the power plant. And so far, I think that's basically the only thing I had go wrong, other than when I bought the car, I put 10-inch tire. I went to a 10-inch tire all the way around, and I talked about that in my first video. I went to the EFX Motoclaw tire, and they actually threw the tires in my deal. I got several different items in my deal, and I'll talk a little bit more about that toward the end of the video. But the 10-inch, going from a 10-inch going to a 10-inch tire, it had a 28 9x14 on the front, and had a 28 12x14 on the rear. And the rear rims were deeper. The same size rim, 7-inch wheel, beadlocks from the factory. But the rear offset was different than it was on the front offset. And when I went to the 10-inch tire all the way around the car, it just squished the tire squished the wheels in on the back, they looked like the tail end of the car was setting in too far. It was about 4 inches difference between the front of the car and the back of the car. And it was, the track was off. But I ordered some new wheels. I got some of the fuel wheels. I put the fuel wheels on it, the Vector 920 wheel B-locks, and with the 5+2 offset, and that took care of that problem 100%. Now the track on the car is perfect, and we talked about that in the first video, so we won't go into a whole lot of detail about that. But it got my tire away from my swing arm, and that's what I was looking to do, and set the track on the car like it was supposed to. The car drives even better now because of that. So that's just things that I felt like, you know, and and that was not something from Can-Am. That was me putting a 10-inch tire on, you know, stock wheels all the way around, and it messed up the track. But we got it straightened out by putting a new set of wheels on it, and that solved the problem. Moving on to things that I want to do to the car. A cage. I talked about this in my other video, my first video, and I called it a Badlands cage, and this and that, and man, was I off. I was bad off. The cage that I want comes from UTV Source. I got that part of it right in the first video. But it's made by Fabworks, and it is called the Aggressor. The Aggressor cage. You can go to UTV Source and go to the Can-Am section and look up Fabworks Aggressor cage, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's a pretty mean looking cage. By far, in my opinion, one of the best looking cages on the Can-Am. So that's something I intend to do, and I think the cost of that cage is like $16.25, and that's less the doors. I also want the Fabworks doors. And I talked about the doors a while ago, that I like the doors on the Can-Am, but when I change the cage, I'm changing over to the Fabworks Aggressor doors to go along with the cage. So that'll be another probably $700-800 for the doors, I'm sure. I haven't really looked up the price of the doors, but I do know the cage is about $16.25, $16.50, something like that. Now, radius rods. I want to put a set of radius rods on this car. I think it needs them. I've not had any bad luck with mine so far, okay? But I do know that that's a weak point in the car, and I do want to address that, and I'm probably going to go with a set of, I'm either going to go with, right now, I've got my mind set on maybe Aftermarket Assassin or the ZRP. I really kind of like the styling and the look of the ZRP, because I can get them, you know, with the high clearance or whatever. I don't think Aftermarket Assassin makes the high clearance rod, and I'd love to get a high clearance rod, but so I'll probably end up going with the ZRP, but they kind of pricey. They about $900 for a set of those, so I'm gonna be, you know, looking at that probably in the near future, but that's something I want to do to the car. The radius rod plate on the back of the car. I want to upgrade that radius rod plate on the back of the car, something I can put a hook into or something like that. And I do like the ZRP radius rod plate also. So I'll be addressing that. The front shock tower. The front shock tower right here. This piece right here. I want one of those. I want to fix that. I want to get that, put that in, and I like the ZRP version of that as well. There's some gusseting stuff that I need to do to the front of the car to kind of tighten it up, make it double shear, stuff like that. And I'll be talking to probably Shock Therapy about, you know, getting some of their stuff, or trying to get some stuff through them, or them or UTV Source. I don't know exactly who I'll get it from, but I do know that's an issue with the car, and I'll be addressing that. And that's just for longevity, durability is all that is. Tie rods. The car seems to have a little bit of bump steer, and I have been told through, you know, multiple people I've talked to or whatever, that Shock Therapy makes their tie rods solve the problem. You know what I mean? So I do have to have a set of tie rods. I have I have a little spot on mine that's kind of a blemish or whatever, and I don't want it to break on me. So that'll be probably the next thing I address will be the tie rods. And I'm gonna be putting on a set of shock therapy tie rods and address the bump steer issue. I don't notice it a whole lot. I do notice it at real high speeds on like gravel road or whatever. You can tell you got a little bit of bump steer, but I'm just kind of used to having a little bit of bump steer anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. I'm just looking to maybe try and improve that, and I'm gonna probably do it with a set of shock therapy tie rods. I think that's pretty much kind of covers the likes and the dislikes of the car. So far, I hadn't had a lot of trouble with the car. I got a pretty good deal on the car, and that's the reason I'm driving a Canam Maverick X3 right now, is because it's, you know, it was a pretty good deal for me. If you watch my other video, you know kind of basically what happened, and I kind of looked into it a little bit, but and there wasn't a whole lot else to choose from at that time, and it just it's kind of worked out. It got me riding. Now, would I buy the car again? Put in the same situation that I was in when I bought the car the first time, yeah, I'd buy the car again. Now that I'm riding, and if I were looking at something else, would I buy something different? I probably would. I probably would. You know, like I said at the first part of the video, you know, you can call me a Polaris fanboy or whatever. I like the Polaris product, and I like this Can-Am. I mean, you know, in my first video I told you, I said this ain't no Can-Am channel, this ain't no Polaris channel, it's not a KRX channel, Honda, Yamaha. This is a UTV channel. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to do some all of it, you know, and we're not biased, and we're not bashing any other brand or whatever, because I personally don't think there's a bad car out there, to be honest. You buy a car, there's gonna be things you don't like about it, and you know, there's gonna be things you find out you do like about it. I had no idea I'd like this car as much as I do. Now, would I buy it again? Faced with the same situation like I was faced with before, like I said a while ago, yeah, I'd buy the car all over again, because it got me riding and it's fun. It's got plenty of horsepower, and it's a lot of fun. It makes me grin when I get out of it. I'm smiling, and for me, that's what it's all about. If I really had a choice and could really go get what I really want without it upsetting my wife, and don't get me wrong, I wear the pants in my family, okay? And that's for sure. I'm just real considerate of her and her feelings, and we wouldn't be together 30 some odd years if I wasn't. Okay, and I believe in it's a two-way street. One hand washes the other, and you have to be considerate of the person you're married to. And it's just something she wanted me to do at that time. And my wife never gives me any crap about anything I do. She's normally on board with everything, and I just love her to death. And I couldn't be happier with the lady God blessed me with. And so with that said, I'd go buy me a, probably, I don't know, man, I'm kind of on the fence. I kind of really like the look. If I got to pick strictly on looks, I'm buying a Turbo S. That's a bad looking machine. I mean, that's a bad looking machine. But the more I look at the Pro XP, which is really what I kind of wanted to start with, that's kind of what I wanted. So I'm sitting on the fence right now, kind of waiting to see exactly what Polaris is going to drop here in the next couple of months, maybe. I don't know. I've heard that they got the machine ready to go, and it's built, it's ready to go, and basically what's kind of held everything up is all this COVID crap with manufacturing and everything. But I've been told by some friends in the industry that they got the car, it's ready to go, it's built. I don't have a whole lot of details on it, just like, you know, most anything you hear online now or in videos or whatever is all speculation. But Polaris is getting ready to change the game. I'm afraid to tell you, they're getting ready to change the game, and you just wait and see. But this is a great car. I say right now, anybody looking at wanting a Maverick X3 or whatever, don't hesitate to go buy one, man. It's the one thing I don't like about the car is having to clean it. It's a nightmare to wash, okay? I will say that. It is a freaking nightmare to wash. You can stay out there with a pressure washer 2-3 hours and still not, all the nooks and crannies, you get mud, dirt, and everything out of everything. And I like my mess clean now. I like my mess clean. But it's a nightmare to wash. I like the car. The car's great. It's a lot of fun. It's got what I call giggle factor. You get out of the car and you're smiling and you're happy, then you made a good decision. You know what I'm saying? And I never get out of the car, you know, unhappy. I always get out of the car, especially when I'm driving it really hard. And I just really enjoy driving the car. It's a lot of fun to ride. You know, but like I said, there's things I'd change about it. Seating position I don't like, the seats I don't like, all of that stuff. But I mean, it comes from riding the Polaris as many years as I did and setting up higher and upright more and this and that. And it's just kind of what I got used to. But provided with an opportunity to go out and really just spend the money and buy what I wanted, I'd probably buy me a Pro XP, but I'm waiting to see exactly what's going to happen. My son's probably going to end up with this car right here. I don't think I'm going to trade it. I think it's too good a car just to kind of trade it and give it away or whatever. And he really likes it too. So, you know, it's kind of a lot of why I bought it to start with. It was, you know, a lot of what he wanted. I mean, he was dying to try a Maverick X3. You know, me and him, we test drove one a couple years back. Matter of fact, it's the same car. It was a 17, just like this right here. We test drove one of these, and he was like, "Gosh, Dad, that's an amazing car right there. That's so much different than what we had. It's crazy." And he's right. He's 100% right. It's a great car. Just things about it for me personally that I would change. You know, I would change, but the overall gist of the car is I really like the car. I can't really say a whole lot of things bad about it. The seats can be changed to help with the discomfort on my leg there. So, I mean, that's not a problem. I can do things in the bed to kind of solve that problem. And I can add more power. Not that it needs it, because 154 is pretty good. But I can add more power. It just costs money. Just like everything else. But I really like the car. I can't say really anything bad about the car as far as durability or anything like that. The car's been good. Like I said, I think the two problems I had were just one bracket coming off my turbo, blew the boot off my turbo, and I fixed that in 10 minutes. And I did have to carry it to the dealer for that code. And that, you know, was probably my fault from getting water in it, washing it with a pressure washer too close to the top of the motor. And I got some water under the coil pack. I think it was just not plugs, really. I just think it was coil pack issue and drying them out and swapping them around, and that fixed the problem. But anyway, I hadn't had a whole lot of problems with the car, to be honest. So far, the car has done and performed and really done what I've asked it to do, you know what I mean? And it's impressed me. I had no idea that I wanted a Can-Am or that I'd even enjoy having a Can-Am. But I can say right now with full conviction that right there, that's a bad car. I mean, that's a bad car. And for the East Coast, a 64-inch wide car like that right there, you can handle most anything that is out there that the East Coast can throw at you. I can tell you that. I'm not a mud guy. I'm not a mud rider. But I do have a set of Terminators that I can put on there that my son took off of his Renegade. And so if I wanted to get in the mud, I got a set of Terminators I can put right on there and hold them right up. Aftermarket wheels and everything. Track will be the same. Everything will look just like it's supposed to. Might even be a little wider, because I think the rims are 4+3. These are 5+2. great car. Little quirky mess that I would change about it. But hey, I don't care what you do, what you buy. You're going to want to change something about it. There's going to be things about it that you don't like. Once you get it home, get it in your garage, you carry it out on a couple of rides, you're going to say, hey, you know, well, I don't like this, or I don't like that, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. But all in all, it basically comes down to really and truly, what brand do you want to ride, okay? And can you be satisfied riding another brand if you can't be on that brand at that particular time? And right now, I can't be in a Polaris because of commitments I have to my wife. And as soon as I get some things straightened out here at the house, and all, not that I'm in a bind or anything like that. I don't want you to get the wrong impression or anything like that. But it's just trying to honor some of her wishes right now and get some things paid off and try not to bring on any more payments and all, you know what I mean? So 3 or 4 months from now, we'll know. I might ride this car until probably February or March before I do anything, because I don't think that Polaris is really going to really slam the market with their biggest and baddest thing to come in a long time until probably about February. At least that's the information I'm getting from a friend of mine that's in the industry. I don't think it's going to come before Christmas, but I think it's going to probably be sometime maybe February, and then I'll be ready in February to do what I need to do about getting me another car. And we'll still have this car here because we're going to do some work to this car. You're going to see this car change. It's going to evolve. And to be a 64-inch wide car, this is going to be a bad mamma jamma right here. Okay? And it's already well on its way. I will say that when I get ready to go with a different set of tires for this car, I'm thinking about going with a set of Maxxis Rockzillas. I really like these tires. These are the EFX Motoclaws. General purpose tire, I don't think you can probably buy a better general purpose tire. I think you can probably buy tires that are just as good. But this is my first set of them, and so far the wear on them is great. They wear like iron. And that's probably why they're probably not as good rock crawling, because they're probably a little harder compound. If they were a little softer compound, they would really be good rock crawling tires. But they're probably a little bit harder than most of your rock crawling type tires. And I think maybe I've watched some of the guys from, I follow a couple of channels, Blown Budget Off-Road. Those guys are awesome, man. Them dudes are crazy, man. I like their videos. But they run the Motoclaw, they run the Carnivores, they run the Warriors, and now I think they're on the Bighorns. They've run the Bighorns. They've run the some other tire that they had that they were running. I can't remember exactly what it is, but now they're all on Maxxis Rockzilla stickies, and man, them guys go check them out. Their videos are pretty cool. I like them. They got some good content. They're good old boys. They're from Wisconsin. And I wish I lived closer to them guys, because I can tell you right now, if I lived closer to them boys, we'd be good friends, because they like to ride, and I love to ride, and I just know we'd be good friends. But I'm probably going to go with the Maxxis Rockzilla, I reckon. I think, maybe. I'm going to try to set up them anyway. And if not, I'm going to buy me a set, just so when I go to Windrock, or when I go to, do some rock crawling, or I'd love to plan a trip out to Moab, I'll have a set. So I'm in the process of maybe trying to get a couple of friends of mine to maybe, let's think about putting a trip together out to Moab. And just simply because I want to see it. You know what I mean? That's something on my bucket list, man. I got to do it before I die. And it's just on my bucket list. That's something I want to do. I love the way them guys ride out there and do things. And so maybe I'll put something together with some of the other guys from some of the other channels. Who knows? You don't never know where this is going to lead. But anyway, that's my video, guys. I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you guys enough for stopping by and spending the time with me. I know my videos get a little bit long-winded. I said that in the first part of the video. I tried not to repeat myself so much this time. But this video went a little bit more like kind of what I wanted to do in my first videos. More of my likes, dislikes, things that's happened, things I want to do to the car, things I've done to the car. You know, that kind of thing. I went over a lot of the things I've done to the car in my first video, so go check that out. Give me a thumbs up and a like, subscribe. I can't appreciate you guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys for stopping by and spending the time. And I appreciate it. Look forward to our equipment getting better. Looking forward to maybe learning how to do a little bit of video editing. I'm not real up on that right now, so I'm gonna probably have to enlist the help of some younger people, my son or whatever, or go online and you know, watch a couple videos or something of video editing or whatever. So I know to make the videos better, eventually I'm gonna have to get into learning how to do all that. So, but right now we're just working with a telephone, a tripod, and off my workbench here in my shop. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you again. Hit that like and subscribe, that notification bell, so you know when we post up a video. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.